Hey guys, we're up to cardioids, or Limason curves actually, but they are called cardioids because they kind of look like hearts. We're up to 6.5, example 6. And notice there are 4 different types of cardioids, and it has to do with how big A is compared to B. So we're going to do an example where A is smaller than B, okay? And that's that first one there. Let's go to the example. I did it already here just to speed things along. You'll notice that I put in those points right away, but what you want to think about is that cosine or sine can have a value of 1 or 0 or -1. And if it has a value of 1, then you just simply take the 2, the A and the B, and you add them. But if you have a -1, there's subtraction going on there potentially. And if there's subtraction, then you may have a chance to have a negative if your A is smaller than your B. If your A and your B are the same, like in this case, that means the smallest value you're going to get is 0 for a radius, which means you end up at the pole. But if your A is smaller than the B, that means you're going to get a negative for the radius, which means when you draw this part's going to be negative, so it loops in like that. And then it's going to come back out and follow these. So it's got to go from a radius of 5 to 2 to then -1, then to 2. And that's why part of this quadrant is negative. And then part of this quadrant is negative to positive. All right. And that's why you have that rule over here. If it says A is smaller than B, then you're going to get that first example of inner looped Limason. A cardioid then, a cardioid is actually one without the dimple or the loop, and that's when A and B are the same. And that's the first example we did, except it was sine. If A is bigger than B, but not twice as big, then you're going to get a dimple. And if A is more than twice or bigger than B, then you end up getting a convex, which is that fourth example. These are just characteristics of it. And notice the range for these. If the range, if A is less than B or whatever the case may be, you're going to get a different range. But basically, take your smallest radius and your biggest radius, and those are the, that basically becomes your range. Domain is all real numbers. It's continuous, and again, sine cardioids or sine Limason curves are symmetrical over y, and cosine ones are symmetrical over x. You don't have to memorize, all these rules, because again, hopefully a lot of this will just make sense to you as you do it, and you can just observe it. And that's it for Limasons and cardioids.